Okay, in question 23 for RPGaDAY 2016, we're asked to share one of our worst luck stories. Now, I'm going to sort of cheat a little bit when it comes to this. I've already talked in loads of videos about silly things my characters and other people's characters have done in games. So what I'm going to do is share a story that was particularly bad luck for one player, but involved another player. Now, as I've said in earlier videos, I used to run an awful lot of World of Darkness games, and I'm hoping to get back to that somewhat in the near future. But when I was running for a regular face-to-face group, because the World of Darkness has a grimmer tone than many RPGs, it's fairly unpleasant. There's a lot of politicking, especially amongst the vampires, and you're normally trying to sort of claw your way to the top, so to speak. And in the games, we had player characters do some fairly unpleasant things to other player characters in their pursuit and quest for power and status. And I remember one particular scenario where one of the characters had acquired some information that was particularly desired by a person playing a Tremere vampire. Now, the Tremere clan is known for being ruthless in pursuit of its acquisition of power and knowledge. So the Tremere player decided that since the person with the information wasn't going to be forthcoming and he didn't really want to pay the high cost that was being asked, he decided he was going to kidnap this person and effectively torture the information out of them. Now, the player who was playing the Tremere handled this extremely well, in my opinion. After all, I didn't really want to get into the grisly details of torture and make it incredibly graphic, since that could have been an unpleasant and uncomfortable experience for all involved. And after all, it's a game. We're here to have fun and enjoy ourselves. So I didn't want to get into the sort of nitty-gritty and the detail of it. However, as he was sort of describing the run-up to it, and I'd pretty much decided to fade to black and then cut back in afterwards, the player who was playing the Tremere turned to me and said, "I'd like to get hold of a copy of the Queen song, The Show Must Go On." And I sort of scratched my head a little bit and sort of went, "Okay, yeah, it's commercially available. You've got money. Do you mind if I ask? You can get hold of it. Do you mind if I ask why?" And he said, "Well, while I'm getting the information out of this person, I want to have some background music on." And that was quite chilling for me, and it was a very good sort of portrayal of how the character thought, since he was a very ruthless Tremere vampire. He had to be to survive in the cutthroat environment of his own clan. But it also worked brilliantly in the game, since as I described sort of the door closing on the room where the torture was going to take place and the scene slowly faded to black, I was then able to just put on this music, slowly turn up the volume, and I didn't say anything for a couple of minutes. I just let the song play through, whilst the other player characters imagined the torture that was taking place. And I think that had a far greater impact than any sort of grisly graphic description that I could have given of the event. And then after a couple of minutes, I faded the music down and we continued with the game in the aftermath. And it seemed like it was still quite shocking to the players. And after all, anything I could have described in terms of the actual torture, whatever the players can imagine, would be far worse than that. But it was really helped by the music in that case. So I think that was an excellent choice on behalf of the player. So that's my answer for question 23. My worst luck story is the unfortunate character in one of my World of Darkness vampire games who found himself tortured to the theme of The Show Must Go On by Queen. I hope to see you next time on question 24. Until then, take care and happy gaming.